I know everybody is extremely tired. You guys look, so tonight might be a fast class, which is good. We'll kind of go through math tonight and kind of its importance and some tricks to use, and then we'll kind of just wrap up STEAM in general as a class, and then we got something kind of exciting to tell you guys about going forward with the STEAM. So that'll be, we'll just talk about that at the end of the class. So I titled this Making Math Fun. So how many of us consider math to be fun? Raise your hand. All right, good. We have one. We have one. Yes. There's always one that loves math. Yes. So, all right. Very good. I cannot raise my hand for that because I just did not like math at all in school. It was very, very boring to me. Science, you can understand. There's experiments going on. There's nature being used, same with technology. You get into engineering, it's all building and hands-on. And art, of course, is all about expression. But then when you get to the math part, it is a set number, it is a set equation, it is a set answer. And so it becomes very kind of boring. So we're going to talk about how to make math more interesting, make math more fun to where your children actually want to do it at home. So that's the goal. So let's start off first of all with why is math important? So it's a crucial tool in humanity's progress. Since the beginning of time, math has been used in one way or another. One of the things I really want us to remember tonight is math is a language. So back when the Sumerians were developing language and everything, they were making notations that turned into math for us. So it's kind of, to see it as a language, it kind of takes the scariness out of it, to picture it that way. But it's a crucial tool for humanity's progress. We have to have it for building, we have to have it for science, we have to have it for medicine, we have to have it for art sometimes. So math's important. Math teaches critical thinking and logical conclusion. So conclusion is kind of weird because we talk about how in STEAM you want everything to kind of be an open-ended process and to keep things going, whereas math has a conclusion, and that's okay. It's all right to do that. It allows us to think outside the box, that there is sometimes a set answer to things. It doesn't have to be open-ended questions all the time. It teaches life skills. You have to have math if you want to buy something when you grow up. When you go to the grocery store, you want to make sure that you're paying the right amount, that somebody's not, taking money away from you when you go to the register. So it's a basic life skill. Most jobs, including entry-level positions, require at least some sort of math. So think of almost any job you can think of right now getting into. There's at least some kind of math involved in it. Whether it is working at a fast food place, you have to do the registers, you have to know how to add, put the money together. Especially being a teacher, you'd have to know math, not only to teach to your students, but to keep things in mind when you're buying supplies, when you're an engineer, of course, when you're working in science as far as measuring things. Math is a critical tool that everybody has to have. And then many higher paying careers require higher skills in math. So think about your higher paying careers. Doctors, engineers, things like that. Lots and lots of math used. Even being something like a lawyer, there's lots of math being used. There's dates, there's times, there's numbers that have to be used and figured out. So very, very important. Now here's the part that I think a lot of us have to think about. Why does math get a bad rap? So I put some ideas here, and if you guys can think of some ideas that aren't on here, please raise your hand and let me know. Well, let's kind of go down the list. First of all, it's boring. It's boring. Anybody ever have a boring math class? Just cannot wait till the bell rings when you were in school. It's just like, oh, it was like pulling teeth. Another one is it's repetitive. You get the teachers that say, let's do 1 through 32 in your math book and come back the next day and we'll go over the answers. And it just seemed like you were doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's time consuming, especially when you had to sit down as a child and do homework. Math seemed like the one that took the longest time. You have to write down the answers, you have to write out the equations, you have to write out the fractions. It took forever. It requires unnecessary areas of study. So how many of you guys use trigonometry on a daily basis? Probably not many here. Unless that's in your field of study, probably not many. And then my last one is I just put, my smartphone does all the math I need. So in today's day and age, just about does. So with all these bad raps, how can we change this? So I kind of want to look at a few of the ones we just talked about. Math isn't boring. Math can determine some of the most exciting things. Now think of this from your child's perspective looking at math. How many days until my next birthday? That's a big thing. All my children say in here all the time, my birthday's tomorrow. My birthday's tomorrow. Now they mean my birthday's in 6 months, But to them, my birthday's tomorrow. Or my birthday was yesterday, even though it was 8 months ago. So they're trying to figure out times and dates, and that's all part of math. How many cookies are left? That's a big thing. You know, you get 6 cookies from mom, you know, little cookies, and there's a couple left, so they can count and see how many more they have to go. And how many minutes before bedtime? That's a big thing. Even out on the playground, a lot of times I'll tell the kids, 5 minutes, you know, 5 minutes till we go in, and they'll say, no, 3 minutes. And they think they're upping me. They don't understand. And I say, okay, 3 minutes. 3 minutes, I'll compromise on that. Math can be used to play games like Candyland, count the spaces when you move your character, same as with Mousetrap. It's fun. Math is only boring when it's taught by boring teachers. So that's a big thing right there. I was trying to think back to all the teachers I had, especially in high school and junior high, that taught math. And we had some that were excited about math, but they weren't really excited about teaching it to us. So there was 2 different things. I literally had my advanced algebra teacher in high school. He would go to the board as soon as the bell rings, he would put up some numbers, he would work them out for us, and then he would sit down and he would either grab a stack of papers to grade or drink coffee, and the rest of the 35 minutes of class was just left to us to kind of talk amongst ourselves. Did you get that? Oh, did you get that? So it was really, really boring. And you could tell that probably at some point in his life he was very excited about it. He chose it as a career. But he got to the point where it was just a job for him, and math was just numbers, and he was presenting it to us as just numbers, and it was boring. We found no joy in that. So we got to find out how we, as teachers and parents, you are teachers, how you can teach your children that it's a little bit more exciting. We'll look at some ways as we go on. Math isn't time consuming. Simple math problems can be done in a matter of seconds. Back to counting again. It says count the raisins you have left in your cup. So you're sitting next to your little one, they have a cup of raisins or cereal or something. Just put out a question, hey, how many do you have left? I see you're eating them really, really fast. How many are left in your cup? Give them a second to count it. It's going to take a few seconds, and you taught a little micro math lesson in doing that right there. Look for math and activities you're already doing. So let's say you go on a nightly walk every night. It's just something you do with your child. You're already going to do it, so you're already out there. So let's take a moment to look down at the sidewalk, and we're going to count the lines in the sidewalk as we go. It's starting to build that math skills, those number skills, those counting, those adding skills. Sneak it into a bedtime story or playtime. The princess had 3 horses, but she rode only 1. How many are left? So that's going to be up to you as parents to kind of formulate that into the story. Any story, whether it's a Cars story or it's a princess story, or, you know, that's a great one. Let's say Lightning McQueen is in a race with 8 cars, you know, and 2 more join in. How many cars are there all together? So it's just putting that little bit of math in, but it's something that they like, so they're going to be more receptive to it. All right. All areas of math are important. So whether or not you use trigonometry or not, it is important in some way to somebody. And here's just some examples here, and then we're using this again at a younger age. So geometry, it can determine the shapes used in art. That's something that we do in here a lot. We actually have geoshapes that we use for art. They're little pieces of plastic cut in trapezoids and octagons and all kinds of shapes that they can actually put together and form pictures of faces or cars or planes. So even without them knowing it, they're using geometry to create art. Fractions can decide the amount of a cookie that you get. So let's say it's their time, their treat time, their snack time. Cut it up into 4 pieces. Now you have a lesson plan for them that they're going to think is fun. So you can have half the cookie, or you can have 1/4 of the cookie, or, you know, see how well they can figure it out. Would you rather have a half a cookie, or would you rather have 3/4 of a cookie? And let them, you know, find out which is better. Multiplication can determine the number of blocks needed when building 2 structures. So let's say you are down with your child and you're doing Legos and you want to build 2 houses. Well, I know that I need 10 blocks for this house, and if I want to build another one, I need 10 blocks here. So 2 sets of 10, I'm going to need 20 blocks. So simple math lesson that you can put in without them even knowing it. Subtraction determines the number of minutes remaining for TV time. So let's say they get their 15 minutes to sit down and watch their cartoons, and they've used 10 of it. You can tell them, hey, we've got 10 minutes left. How much time do you have left? You know, and they let them figure out. I don't know how much time I have left. Let's count it. You used 10, you had 15, so 10 minus 15, you have 5 minutes left. They're going to get that and understand it because it's important to them. They want to watch more TV, so they want to know exactly how much time they have left. So it's something that becomes important. We're going to look at some areas to make math fun, but before we do that, do we have any questions or comments? Do anybody have, let's do it this way, do anybody have an outstanding math teacher that you can give me an example of something that they did to make math fun for you? This kind of proves my point for this whole lesson here. All right, so no hands right. Did you have one?
She was the one who liked it.
Oh, you liked math. Do you have a teacher that you can remember that you really liked? It's just you on your own. You on your own, and that's fine.
Numbers.
That's fine.
They fascinate me.
Excellent, excellent, very good. I think numbers fascinate me too if they're tagged on to other things. So if they're tagged in with science, and I'm like, oh, okay, those numbers are fascinating. So let's talk about enjoying math. We're gonna look at doing some simple word problems with your children. Doing math without paper, that is a huge one. Your child is gonna go to elementary school and they're gonna get enough paper and enough pencils to last them the rest of their education. You don't need to do it now. So let's make math without the pencil and paper. Three-dimensional math, being able to touch things and physically move things while they're trying to learn numbers and addition and subtraction is important. And then math and play scenarios, I'm not going to talk a lot about that. That just kind of goes back to when you're doing blocks or you're telling a story, sneaking in math for that. Okay, so word problems. I think back to the word problems I had on the SATs. You guys should remember those. And they were very lengthy word problems. I mean, some of them were paragraph or even two on there. So you think about it, you know, Johnny has this and he's trying to move this amount, and if he has this much time, how much can he move by this amount of time? And they get so convoluted after a while you have to go back and reread and reread and reread to get it done. You don't have to do that with your children at this age. This is an easy one. So create a word problem out of a real life experience. You're at the store with your child and they want to buy a toy and they've saved their money, and that toy costs $3 but they only have $2. How many more dollars do you need? It was a simple word problem. It's spoken with your own mouth, but it lets them think. You have $2, it costs $3. How many more dollars do you need? Something very simple like that. Now they're not thinking, oh no, I'm doing math, forget it, I don't even want the toy. They're gonna walk away. They're gonna think, oh, let's see, I have $3, I have $2, I need $1 more. Can you give me $1 more? You know, that's what they're gonna be thinking of because they want to get that. Use references from their favorite things, and this is big. Math is not exciting to young children unless it's about something they're excited about. So I put here a reference to R2-D2 because I grew up loving Star Wars. I watched the new trailer today at least 10 times before I came. So it's exciting to me still. So I put R2-D2 can only fly 3 feet with 1 set of boosters. How far can he fly with 3 sets? It could be My Little Pony, it could be Superman, it could be whatever they're into. Create a word problem with something they're interested in. You could have them draw a picture of it. You know, what if Superman had a cape that was twice as long and he can fly at the speed of light right now? How fast can you go if his cape was twice as long? Let them make up their own scenario and their own numbers for it and draw a picture. They're working it. They're working it. It's all about the process, so they're working it. Next one is math without paper. So how many of you guys remember the flashcards from school? That was a big one. It was a daily thing with teachers. They would sit down, you would do your circle time, or they'd come up to the front of the class and they would get everybody together and they'd hold up the card. 2 plus 2, flip it around, 4. They get out the next one. 8 plus 8, 16. They flip out the next one. And it becomes so boring and so tedious that you just kind of, okay, go ahead. Now I use flashcards in here, usually not for math. Animals, places, things like that where they can see an actual picture on it. It's different, they can see that. But with math and numbers, it becomes kind of boring. So it feels like organic play, excuse me, if it feels more like organic play, they're more inclined to try it. So let me hold up a little example here for you. This is my flashcard here. It's very boring. 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 minus 1 is 2, different math concepts altogether. Now, would your child be more inclined to look at this or to look at this? So, Pete the cat. He's a big one here in our classroom. And he has a book called My 4 Groovy Buttons. So, we made Pete the cat here with the 4 buttons. It's just a picture drawn with buttons Velcroed on. But now, I have a valuable math tool to teach with, and they're not even gonna think it's math. So Pete's walking along, and he loses 1 button. How many buttons are left? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3. You just learned subtraction. Fantastic, good job. They don't know, it's Pete the cat to them. Or, we could take all of them off, and we could go with something a little more advanced. Pete needs some buttons. He buys 1 package of buttons that has 2, and another package of buttons has 2. How many he has when it's 2 times 2? Well, that's 4. All right, well now we got into multiplication, and they're still in preschool. So there you go. Something simple like this that's a visual for them, that's what's going to excite them. This, unless you're a math teacher, probably doesn't excite you. It's just a bunch of numbers. So that's why we want to get away from that. Yes, this might excite you. Yes, this side's for you. Yes, everybody else has this side. All right. This is what we talked about with art, but it also works with math, and that's using shaving cream on the table to make numbers. So take some shaving cream, spread it over the tables, let them use their finger to draw numbers in there. They could do simple math problems, a 1 + 1 is 2. They can write it out. It's taking them away from the paper, and it seems more like a fun activity that they're doing for fun rather than doing math. Or count your pretzel sticks before snack time. Again, just something that they could do each time. How many pretzel sticks did I give you today for snack? And they'll sit there and count it out. Blow bubbles and count them as you pop them. That's a fun one. Every child loves bubbles. So blow as many bubbles as you can, and let's go down and count how many we popped before they go. So it's a lot of fun that way. 3D math says young students retain more when they are doing hands-on learning. That's a given. One of our big things here at Goddard is a PAJ system of being hands-on, letting the children work with things. That helps them to learn because they're more inclined to do things that are fun. Being able to touch and count items like rocks, toy cars, building blocks, help the child understand the spatial difference when doing math. So if you have a stack of 6 rocks here and you move 2 away, they visually can see that there are more rocks in this pile than there are in this pile. Helps them to start formulating the difference with subtraction. Again, you have 6 here, you add 2 more to the pile, they can see that there's more there than there was before. Really basic concept for us as adults, but for them, it's the building blocks for doing math. Use items that have texture like rough stones, fluffy cotton balls, and smooth ping pong balls. So in this class, when I introduce an item that's new, a lot of times I'll see the children pick it up and they will rub it in their hands and they will rub it on their face and they're feeling it out. It's a texture for them. So it's fun to do. It's just a fun way to get that 3-dimensional art in. Now I made something here that everybody can make at home. You definitely don't have to be any kind of an artist at all. All this is just a couple of pieces of poster board, small poster board. You can get this at the dollar store. And I made a number chart. Now again, this is boring to most children. It's just numbers on here. But there's 3D as well. So 1 + 1, you flip it up and it's 2. And there's a 3-dimensional butterflies here. They can touch them, they can feel them, they can count that there's 2. 2 + 2 is 4. Now there's 4 3-dimensional fish here for them to touch. It's a sensory to them. 3 + 3 is 6. 3-dimensional butterflies. They can count them, actually physically touch each one and feel it and count. And then, just to throw things in and change it up a little bit, I did on the 4 + 4 is 8 flat stickers. So there's a different feel as well. So all these different textures incorporated, and it actually gives them something to do. This could be hung up on a wall. You could get Velcro and hang it up. You can make several of these and switch them out every week. So really, really easy project to do as far as math goes. Any questions or comments as we keep going? Yes, go ahead.
We use Legos for math because they have the little bumps at the top.
Yes.
So we'll use those for adding. We use them for multiplication. We can use them for subtraction.
Okay.
That's how Ashley learned a lot of the
excellent
concepts that she has.
So she could actually build something 3-dimensional and then take pieces off and count as she's doing it? Is that how you did it, or did you just
like you know how they have like the little bumps at the top?
Yes, yes.
We would use those if she's doing 3 × 3.
Oh, I see. You just count the physical bumps. Oh, I see.
Like the 3 bumps, and then she get 3 of them with 3 bumps. And then
very nice.
She get 2 with 4.
Excellent. I love that. Yeah. I love that. Very, very good idea. Do you guys remember in grade school? I don't know if you had these or not, but they were the wood ones. There was like a square of tins, and then you'd put little squares on top of them, and then you could count more. Maybe you guys don't remember that, but I had those. And all I remember wanting to do with those things were build stuff out of them. Yeah. So you have these blocks, I want to build a tower, I want to build a house, you can put 2 sets of tin up and make a roof. I remember that, so that was the fun part of it. Yeah, children really want to have something 3-dimensional that they can touch. And if you guys can sneak math in on top of that, then it becomes fun. And again, they don't even realize that they're doing it.
Are there any ideas for division? Like how to work that in?
For this age level, let's see, what could you do for division on there? You could do visual visual division as far as like $1.04,
Okay.
and you could do 4 quarters into $1 and let them see that this one thing represents these four make the same amount in that. So it's kind of hard for a 3 and 4-year-old with division. Actually, I would say multiplication is easier at this age than using division, but something like that where they can see pieces break up. I think Legos is a good one too. You could put 4 pieces together to make one, so these 4 bricks make this one thing, kind of division, yeah, with that. So maybe something like that. Let's see, most important rule, and this is the most important rule for all of STEAM in general. If you're excited about math, they will be excited about math. And that goes with science and technology and engineering as well. So if they bring home that first assignment from school and they have problems to do and they say, can you help me? And you say, yep, it's math. All right, let's sit down. And you do it and it's just like pulling teeth and yeah, 2 plus 2 is 4. Yep, let's do the next one. Yep, 6 plus 2, that's 8. And it's boring to you, they pick up on your cues right away and now it is boring to them. But if you sit down and you see it and you say, yeah, let's do your homework. Oh, wow, look at this. I have some counters, and I'll show you what these are right here. This is what we use in school. Just little 3-dimensional things like animals, vegetables. Get out the box, sit next to them. You don't have to do it for every problem that they have, but do it for a few of them and say, okay, we're going to put out 6. We're going to put out 2. Let's put them together. It's fun, it's exciting, and they get to spend time with mom and dad, so it means more to them. Let's see. Studies have shown that parents who have done well with math in school have children that do well with math in school. And if you didn't do well in math in school, that's okay. Your children can still do well. This is just a statistic, but it's kind of to show you the exciting part. If you're a parent and you're excited about it, you really care about it, your children will as well. We have a quote on the next page, and it's one of my favorite quotes ever about math, Albert Einstein. Do not worry about your difficulties in mathematics. I can assure you mine are still greater. So, Albert Einstein struggled with math in a way that's different than us. We struggle with math trying to get concepts. He struggled with how to use concepts to figure out other things. So, he was on a much higher level with math. But it's just neat to see that one of the greatest minds ever still struggled with math and figuring out things and equations, and he still had to work at it every day. So, you will have to work at it every day. Your child will have to work at it every day. But if you try to keep that fun focus on it, it's not going to be like pulling teeth. I was helping my nephew out, this was probably a couple years ago, but he loves Legos, and so I would make him a deal that I would come over and play Legos with him if we get his homework done. I would come over, of course his homework would not have been touched, so we would sit down at the table, let's do your homework. He had a problem that was, how can you get to 53 cents in the fewest amount of coins? I said, oh, Nikki, that's an easy one. That's an easy one. 3 coins, obviously it's 3 coins, on there. Or no, it's 55 cents, 3 coins. So, 2 quarters and a nickel. And he said, no, that's not right. And I said, yeah, it's right. It's 55 cents, 2 quarters and a nickel. No, that's not right. He goes in, pulls out plastic coins, puts a 50-cent piece down and a nickel. He's like, it's 2 coins. You're right. You're right. You're right. He figured it out on his own, and he went to a 3-dimensional object to pull it out and show me and say, see, this is how I learned that it's only 2 coins. So children will get it as long as you make it fun for them. Let's talk about some fun ideas for math. So an abacus, we have an abacus here. You guys ever use an abacus in school growing up? Some of us did. I remember when I was, I don't know, probably 6, 7, you could get abacus keychains. I remember my sister had one. I don't know what the purpose was of it, but she had one. So these are great counters and actually great for doing math as well. It just comes in sets of 10 that you can count, just regular counting, but then you can do addition. So you have 10 on this side. We're going to slide over 2 to this side. We'll slide all these over here like this. So how many do I have on this side? Well, you got 10 and 2, then that's 12. So it's easy to do math on these, but it's a lot of fun for them because they can physically slide back and forth. And then like this one, you can incorporate colors in there. How many yellow beads are on this side? How many orange beads are on this side? How many blue beads are on this side? You can incorporate math and art together with those. So that's a fun one. Dominoes. See if I have my dominoes here. Yep, right there. Now, these are jumbo dominoes. But you can use any kind of dominoes as long as they have dots on them. So one, they can count the dots. That's easy. But they can also put them in order. So if you have 3 dots here, you find the next one that has 4 dots. They can line them up, and they can go down the line that way. it's kind of fun. It becomes a game to them how to twist and turn the dots to put them in sequential order. So that's a fun one. Plastic animals, you guys saw the counters there. You can get those counters online just about anywhere. They run about between $6 and $10, and you can use them for any kind of math, so those are a lot of fun. River rocks. So this is kind of a way to incorporate science in your math as well. Go for your walk, go for your nature walk with your child. Pick up some river rocks or just rocks from outside that are a nice size that they can take in and they can count. Magnetic slate for writing numbers. Do you guys remember before there was ever Magnadoodles, there was the wax board that had the piece of paper that went down and you would take a plastic pin? You remember those? We used those for art in school, I remember, for math, in school. And then you just peel it up and you do it again. Now they have Magnadoodles, which are much more efficient. Yes, you can just slide it over to clear it out. Those are great ones for doing that. It's kind of the concept of pen and paper, but it's a lot more fun for them to do. They can understand that this looks different than writing things down. Paint programs on tablets. So just about every tablet, doesn't matter if you have an iPad or any kind of tablet, there's some kind of paint program on there where you can use your finger to draw. Another one, getting away from pen and paper. They can go up there, use their fingers to write numbers. You can write out a math equation with their finger and they can come up and try to solve it. So it's another fun one right there as well. Okay, I told you guys we went through this fast, but I want to do a general overall kind of rundown of STEAM for you guys since this is our last class. First of all, have you guys been able to take anything away from these classes?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad you did. I was trying to think last night, how am I going to do an overall rundown of STEAM in 10 minutes time? But what I'd like to do is give one thing from each group that I really like you guys to take away and kind of think about and maybe incorporate. So we're going to start first with science. So the one thing that I would like you guys to remember is to ask questions when it comes to science. That is the most important. Keep the discovery going. You go outside and you find a lizard. What color is the lizard? Where does it come from? How many babies does a lizard have? Would the lizard survive in cold weather? Does he need water to eat? What kind of food does he eat? Questions can just start pouring out. And when they do, they'll get to a point where they'll come up with a question. Why is the lizard on the roof? How does he stay on the roof? Could he stay up there forever? What if a cat comes by? So all these questions are going to come up. You guys can have that back and forth discussion. So ask a lot of questions. That's important for science. Technology. This is a big one. Technology is a tool and not a teacher. That's what I would like everybody to remember. You're the teachers. As parents, you're the teachers. But you can use technology to help you teach in so many fantastic ways. Let's talk about that again with that lizard. Take your camera phone out, take a picture of it. Send it off to somebody. Send it off to grandma and grandpa. Say, look what we found. You could use a camera like this to record your child building a structure for engineering. And they built it up, and the first time it was only this tall, but when they did it the second time it was this tall, and you're documenting all with the camera. You can use an iPad to make a schedule for your child. So we're going to do this many minutes of screen time a day. We're going to stick to it. They'll be able to look at it and say, okay, this is all the amount of time I have. You can document things like that. So let it be a tool and not the teacher. Let's not just put it on Baby Einstein and say, okay, go for it, guys. Use it and use it in the moment, and it is going to serve you wonders. So technology is fantastic for that. Engineering. The thing I want you to remember about engineering is anything can be used in engineering. Look around your home all the time to find things. That box you're about to throw away. You guys are talking about recycling. There you go. That's great engineering tools right there. Cereal boxes, paper towel tubes, oatmeal canisters. Anything can be used in engineering. Set it to the side, let them play with it. If they get bored with it, then you can toss it, then you can recycle it. But let them play with it and have fun with it and let them understand that anything can be used to build. That's an important one. Art. The thing I want you to remember about art is the process, not the product. The product will eventually come. They will do that when they get older. If they want to make the most beautiful Renoir you've ever seen, then they will do that with their own skill and their practice. The important thing is letting them know how to do that. So let them get in there and get messy. Let them draw something that looks like nothing, but appreciate it. Appreciate what they did. Those scribbles that they made on their paper tell a story. So let them tell that story to you. And when they do that, they're going to want to do more. And when they practice more, they're going to make it beautiful. And hang them up, display them proudly everywhere, because that's all part of the process. And then, of course, with math, math is a language. That's what I want you guys to take away from this, really. When you think of it as a language, it doesn't seem so scary. It's a way to communicate. Yes, it's not communicating as in, how was your day today? My day was fine. How was your day today? It's not that kind of communication. Math is a communication as in, what do I need to solve this? How much do I need to accomplish this? How can I help you with the numbers that I have? Someone calls you up on the phone and says, you know, I'm putting out a rural example here. My barn blew over last night. Do you have any 2x4s? You can use that math to help out somebody else. And that is the overall theme of STEAM here, is helping people, becoming a better global citizen. Not just here at home, but helping everybody. So when you come up with that example, when you come up with that solution of how to fix that person's barn, that can be not only used here in Arizona, it can be used across the world, it can be used in neighboring countries that really need assistance. It's all about making the world a better place, and that's the overall arcing theme of STEAM. Let me give you guys a couple of examples before I wrap things up tonight. There's really sobering statistics that came out last year. In fact, they're so sobering, Microsoft has kind of picked them up and run with them. But 2 out of every 10 girls that graduate go into a field of science or engineering. So 20%, it's actually around 17%, go into one of those fields. And the number one reason that young girls say they're not interested in science, technology, and math is because they say it's boring and it's for boys. So there you go. Now, of course, when you have a boy, you want them to go as well into these fields, absolutely. But when you have daughters, it is very, very important for you guys to tell them how important these fields are, to get them excited about it. And moms, when they see you guys enjoying it, they're going to enjoy it because you are their number one female hero in their life. And so that's very, very important for them. Sobering statistics. Another one, when it comes to engineering, only 27% of engineers are female, and they say that only about 12 to 17% are American here in this country, in our country. So we want to help not only America, but other countries. We have to get to our students at a young age, to get them excited about this. If they start in preschool saying, I can't wait to do science, that volcano was so much fun, I can't wait to see what happened, can we go hunt for spiders tonight? Can we go do this? If you get that excitement, it's going to be there when they get to grade school, when they get to junior high, when they get to high school, and when it's time to pick a career when they get out of college. So that's very, very important. Is there any questions?
So that's
Yes.
12 to 17% of engineers overall, male and female, are American.
27% of those girls, 27% of engineers are female,
Okay.
and 12% of the 27 are American.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's still female.
It's very small, yes.
Okay.
Yes, very small amount. And that was the whole point of STEAM, was to get more Americans excited about these areas, because as we're lacking and we're having to go overseas to get people to bring here to our country to fulfill these jobs. So, very, very important. Any other questions? I want to thank you guys very, very much. I know tonight was short and sweet. Did you have a question?
There's a lot of things that I like in your room, like the dominoes,
Yes.
the stacking monkeys.
Yes.
Are there any stores that you would recommend just to pique our curiosity and ideas?
There, now that you tell me, I'm trying to think of it. What's our
Lakeshore
catalog?
Learning.
Lakeshore, that's it.
Yeah.
Lakeshore Learning.
There's one in Awatuki. I
Yes.
mean, it's kind of a long drive. I think that might be the closest one.
Yes, that's about as far as I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can order online though, but we get a lot of those kind of materials
Yes.
from Lakeshore Learning, Discount School Supply. But I
Discount
think,
School Supplies is really good for the art.
Yeah, for-
Lots and lots of art products
Yeah.
on there. Very
But
cheap.
I would definitely recommend even like a day trip over to Awatuki
Yeah.
to go into the Lakeshore store because you'll,
Yeah.
and you know, even if you take Zoe or your children with you, they can
Yes.
kind of see what inspires their interest.
Absolutely. Very good. Any other questions? Yes.
I just want to let you know there's actually a website and they actually have an app also
Okay.
called Bedtime Math.
Okay.
That's
Oh, excellent.
really great for young kids. I haven't used it lately, but
Okay.
they have like it's got like a story and then it's got like 3 different age groups that you can use like with a problem that they can solve.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Actually I have
Bedtime stories.
the app on my phone. It's called Bedtime Math.
Bedtime Math.
So are these just little short little things that they can do?
It's an app.
Everybody's looking it up.
It's, they do have an app, but it's they have a website also.
Oh, okay.
But they have like one problem for the day, and it just has like a little story.
Oh,
And then you it's got wee ones, little kids, and big kids. And you push on that, it'll give you a math problem for them to solve.
very nice. Is it a word problem for it?
It's
It's hard for me to see from there.
Wait, so you
It just
read it
has-
to them at night? It's not like they.
I see.
Right.
Oh,
it has
okay.
like a little
Oh,
story.
okay.
I see that. Okay.
And then
Yeah.
push on the it'll say, you know.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Question.
Yes, I like that.
and-
very
Yeah.
convenient.
Yeah. And they
Excellent.
actually have a website. You don't have to have their app.
Mhm.
You
So-
can go back and get like old questions even.
You can do math every day
If you wanna
then.
do
There's,
more than-
there's
yeah.
really no
You know,
excuse. It's very
like
simple.
a couple minutes at night. Like I said, I haven't used it recently, but we used to do it all the time.
Very nice. Thank you guys very much. So we have something kind of exciting. I don't want STEAM to end here, neither does Joellen. So we want to keep this going. Our whole summer program is going to be revolving around STEAM, which is excellent and exciting. But what we're going to do is I'm going to come up with a way to give you guys every week a activity to do at home. So that'll be your activity of the week. Might be something like we talked about with engineering, using marshmallows and toothpicks to build a tower, something like that. But that way it gives you guys 7 days to try it out with your child. You can report back, say if it worked, if it didn't work. What I love the most is when parents come to me and say, I didn't have this, but I tried this and it worked really well. So that's great. That's great. Any way you guys can change it and move it around is fantastic. So we're going to do that. I hope to have it by Monday. I kind of already have a template worked up for it, so we'll do that. And we're going to have it posted out there so you guys can see it. So it'll be a fun way. It'll be a fun activity.
Yeah, I'll also put it in the weekly reminder. So.
There you go. Excellent. All right. Very good. Any more questions before we wrap up? Thank you guys very, very much. It is very important to me, especially a lot of you who've been here the whole time for all the classes. It's very important to me that you guys showed so much interest in this. I really, really appreciate it because it's something that's very, very important to me. It's the reason why I got into education, is areas like science and technology and engineering and art. Those are extremely important. And math. And math. They're extremely important to me. I remember when I graduated from high school how excited I was because math was done. And then I got to college and I took math 156 and 157, and that is math for elementary teachers. And it seems like that'd be easy, right? You're just going to be doing your basic multiplication, division type of things. But it was 2 weeks of calculus, 2 weeks of trigonometry, 2 weeks of advanced algebra. It was so fast and furious. People were dropping out. People were failing. I was lucky enough to have a friend who's really good at math that helped me through it. But it was just, whoa. So I was like, why do I have to learn this? Why does any child have to learn trigonometry? Why do we have to do this? It's because it stretches your brain and it helps you understand how numbers work. So when little Johnny comes up to me with an easy math problem, simple. I got it. I understand how it works. So even when your children come home during high school and they say, oh, this calculus exam's terrible, I couldn't care less about it, you understand it's all part of the process. It's all part of the process. So that's important to know. All right, guys, thank you very much. Thank you. If you have any questions, you always feel free to ask.
All right.